Hi, BTO Pro here. I'm going to show you something that we had slotted in our queue to have done by the year 2020. So Michael Collins is a fellow core contributor on the project, and so we throw crazy ideas into the queue all the time. This one's over a year old, and so in between doing boring things like making grade books and LMS type stuff that I can't stand, uh, we kind of theorize about crazier things we could be doing to basically change the notion of work and what we do. Well, I'm gonna check all these boxes because they're all here now, and there's lots of it friggin' works in the queue. So what is issue 26? Issue 26, which I will now mark up to release 3 because it is in the system, basically describes that people could author code without knowing how to do it and contribute it back to ELMS Learning Network without any barriers to entry. So what does this look like? In the past, I've showed the innovate tool, and people go, what the heck is the innovate tool? Well, it's basically just a boilerplate tool in ELMS Learning Network that then unlocks all the Drupal site building capabilities. So if you're familiar with Drupal site building, but not ELMS, now you can contribute meaningfully is the big deal here. So I'm going to add a content type, and this content type might be, let's say course group, right? Or student organization, right? So maybe I've got this idea for something in ELMS Learning Network. It's not going to be the title, it's going to be the name of the organization. These noodly boring settings here. So we're going to add a field to it. All right. And this field is maybe an image that represents the organization, whatever, right? This is site building. This is where Drupal really starts to become very powerful, is that you can do a lot with very little, right? I just clicked a few buttons, and now we've got some content types. We've got a content type called student organization. Now, the issue as I see it, and as we've seen it in the core team, is how do we get all these clicks, all these ideas from the person that has them to us or to other people? All right, so if you're doing Drupal site building, you build a cool website. We've got all these ways of packaging configuration up and shipping it off to people. But you need to know what configuration is. You need to know what features is. You need to know how to use all this stuff. We want to eliminate that. So what do I mean? So I made some views. I made that content type. And then the idea is that I would go and say, submit my idea to innovate. I'm going to call this, this is, by BTO Pro. And the name of this innovation is student organization. Okay, I'm going to hit accept on this. Basically, this is saying we're going to turn this site into code and submit it to a public repository. And so now let's trace what that button right there just did, because this just took a few days. So that prints a job onto the server, onto the ELMS Learning Network system. And so we can see it right here. This is a backend job that's going to get picked up that knows how to run drush commands safely. And so it's going to run this one drush command, trigger innovate. Again, Sing 100, student organization is the name of it. The user that made it is BTO Pro, and this is a 7x version of the system. This is going to run, we'll see it get picked up. It'll say processing in about a minute here. And so when we move from processing, it's going to run a command that basically goes, and we can go to the end result of one of them recently. It's going to automatically take the site, and it's going to make a branch in GitHub. We'll take the last one I made, my favorite new phrase. It's going to create something, a directory here, automatically out of the site that I went and I did my configuration. It's going to build a install profile and rewrite all the files as if you had gone and done it. And so if I look in this info file, you'll see it looks like a Drupal site thing. It then takes, using the features builder module, it takes the drush capability of that, and then it auto exports everything that's been captured in configuration, and then it appends it to the bottom of the install profile here. It also takes a drush recipe, which is another project that we have in our toolkit now. And it takes, this is a perfect one-to-one drush calls. So you can take any site from nothing to the exact thing that I had on my screen previously, assuming all the modules are in place. This creates a foundation access subtheme, which is the theme that we use, names all of the functions in it appropriately. This goes, and we go into modules, we've got features. Here's all the features that were automatically produced using the schema, if you will, that's involved with the features builder project. So if I go to Wild West, okay, in the background here, I can refresh and you'll see it says processed, which means that that drush function fired. The net result of that drush function is to automatically create a branch in Wild West. And I call it Wild West because there's some level of trust here that you're just sending data out here, right? Anyone could do this. I didn't have to do any magic setup. This will automatically be available in the system. And so now it's created the BTO Pro student organization. I can go to that. You'll notice I have a big message, never use this repo. It involves humans to actually finish. What happens after it's here is we also send a message to a third-party middleman type of a system, if you will, that just says, hey, look for this branch, and if you see it, then I want you to issue a pull request. And so Wild West allows all of our innovations to go out there, but we don't trust them at all. But it's a fork of ELMSLN Innovations, and the Innovations repo currently has nothing. But you'll notice there's a pull request, and there's a new innovation called Student Organization Knocking. If I click that, this is the ELMSLN Innovation bot that has now taken that branch and compared it to the innovation stack. So the next step from this is we can make a viewer in the innovation tool that you could actually point to this repository and start to take the ideas that people have made with no knowledge of version control or code and ingest them. So if I know how to use views, if I know how to use content types, I'm a contributor now. Mind blowing. It really is. This is going to change everything. We don't need Drupal people anymore to make meaningful Drupal contributions back. If you know how to site build, if you know how to create, if let's say we throw rules into this, if we know how to use rules, if you know how to use content types and views and blocks, you could create your own frigging learning management system within this system and then click a button and export it to another person. This is like beyond remix culture. This is like eliminating developers. This is what I'm here to do. So get excited because I sure as hell am.